Hey y'all, happy Monday. We are going to dig back into this week about the Father and our being sons and daughters and not just a chosen people, or as we've been reading in John 8, the discussion that Jesus is having with the Jews about who their Father is and all of those things that we've talked about. But today, I want to take time, for Jesus to be glorified. And I think it's important that every time we have occasion and every platform that is available, we share God's faithfulness and His goodness and all the things that we talk about, the signs and wonders and His faithfulness to His word and miracles and all of those things that we so desperately long to experience, and yet sometimes they seem so far away or so few and far between. So today I'm going to share a personal experience of ours from this past week. So on Thursday, I'd had a long day. I got home about 5 o'clock, I guess, and from one appointment, say appointment, but and then was going to go to dinner that night with a friend, and it's 5:15 and I hear Caleb crying. And it's a different kind of cry, moms, when it's a different kind of cry. So I came out, his whole right side, he wasn't moving his arm at all. He wouldn't grab for anything. He had it almost like limp straight down beside him, and just crying. And he was not comforted at all. He would not stop crying. So Dustin checked all the basic things. He still had blood flow to his arm. Nothing felt broken, but of course he's two, so his bones are still extremely pliable. So anyway, it's after 5 o'clock. Called the pediatrician, talked to the on-call PA, who says, I think you need to be seen tonight. We, 4 boys, in 8 years, we've never taken a child to an emergent appointment. We do not, I don't want to say overreact about things, but I tell you this to explain the severity of Caleb's situation, and that it took a lot to move us to take him to be seen Thursday night. So we got an appointment with orthopedics in Smithfield at 7:45 Thursday night. So for the next 2 hours, Caleb cried in pain. He did fall asleep for about 30 minutes in my lap, and then when he woke up, began crying again. So again, all of these things to solidify to you that the child was in pain and something was wrong. We had a problem. So we get to the orthopedic facility. It was Emerge Ortho in Smithfield. Fantastic facility, fantastic providers. We saw the nurse, the x-ray tech, and she did a couple of basic things. And when he bent his elbow up, he cried out in pain, big crocodile tears. So then we have x-rays and taking a 2-year-old through x-rays, and they were fantastic, but they took pictures of his elbow and his shoulder and all of that stuff. We came back in and talked to the PA. Of course, there's no evidence of fracture, no evidence of a clean break. So all of those things we're grateful for. But Caleb is still not moving his arm, not bending, and he said, arm hurt, fix it. So he tells us it's probably a sprain, and by Sunday, Monday or Tuesday, it should be better. He should favor it less. And he said, of course, the opposite is also true. If there's something that is wrong, he will favor it more, and he'll tell you more that it hurts. We got in the car, walked out of the doctor's office, got in the car, and Caleb takes his drink with his right hand, the arm that we've just had x-rayed, and he drinks, moves his arm. He laughs and smiles, his normal, happy self, giggles the whole way home. We walk in the door of the house, and he runs and jumps on the floor, catches himself on his right arm, pushes his vehicles down the hallway, feeds himself mac and cheese. This is all the same night after we left the orthopedic. They did nothing to Caleb. They didn't reset it. They didn't try any kind of movement. Mostly he wouldn't let them. We experienced the goodness and the healing power of God made manifest. And when we realized that something was wrong, we immediately began praying. So Dustin's calling the doctor. I'm praying over Caleb. I am encouraging myself, remembering the covenant that we have over our children. And Joseph, knowing that something is wrong, says, well, we need to take communion. So he gets communion. We take communion together, praying over Caleb. And I just want to share with you God's faithfulness and his goodness. And it's not because of who I am, except that I belong to God. I am a child of God, a joint heir with Jesus. And it's not that I on my own am worthy of God's manifested healing, but Jesus is worthy of the promises of God to be fulfilled. And so when I call on God through Jesus Christ, when I go boldly into that throne room of grace to obtain what I need, Jesus is my guarantee. Jesus is my yes. Paul says, to all the promises of God, find their yes in him. And the work that Jesus did, his death and his resurrection on the cross, him being seated at the right hand of God the Father, the mediator between God and man, he is worthy of the promises of God fulfilled, and he is worthy. To him be the glory and the honor for this manifestation of healing in my Caleb. And he's been fine ever since. So he's been his rock'em sock'em little 2-year-old self. He has not had another moment of pain. And he was hurt, and he has been made whole. So I share that with you today to encourage you, and that you can rejoice with us and in your situation. In whatever it is that you need from God, Jesus is worthy of the promise of God to manifest. He is enough. He is good enough. He's your access point. All the promises find their yes in him. And we'll pick up tomorrow digging back into the Father. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.